Now, if you're the type of person that likes to keep your paint colors cool, then this episode of Color Quickie is just for you, because we're taking a look at On the Rocks by Sherwin-Williams. And I'm gonna get right to it, because this is a color that a lot of you have requested. It's a gray, but it's a little more nuanced than you might think. Now, typically speaking, gray gets a bad rap in the paint world because a lot of people think it's very played out, repetitive, and just overdone. But I still think there's a lot of people out there that appreciate this type of color, so I'm gonna tell you how I would use it in my home if I were to paint today, let's say. But more importantly, I have an entire color palette for you, 3 wall colors and then 2 trim options that you can use in your home right away for free. I'm the color guy here to talk about this color. Sorry, it's over here. There. So right off the bat, let's talk about its LRV, the light reflectance value. This number from 0 to 100 lets us know how dark or light a color is. And 62 is really kind of the perfect number if we're talking about interior wall colors, which I think a lot of you would consider using this color on. The reason it's so good is because it's a happy medium of not being too light and just sort of plain, but also not too dark where it's going to feel overwhelming and bogged down in your home. Your lighting plays a large role in how it'll end up looking, but you can sleep easy knowing you're starting at a really good place to begin with. Now, I did mention that it's a gray. What kind of gray is it? Well, it's a little on the lighter side, so it will feel kind of like a cement gray or more of a concrete gray. And it does have a cooler lean, but not really in the blue direction. It's more of a crisp, cool green touch that ends up happening. But like I said, your lighting, your flooring, your furniture, that's really what's going to impact what undertones are going to be present. So make sure before you use it, test it out. Get a tester, bring it home, see it with your own eyeballs in your space. All right, so that's the basics of this color. Really, I think it's pretty versatile. You can use it anywhere you want as long as you're okay with gray. Now, what if you had some trim to paint? Your baseboards, your doors, and your frames. I have 2 recommendations, a light and a dark option. The light choice would be Extra White, which is a Sherwin-Williams classic. It is a clean white, not the brightest, but still very much up there in lightness. It has an 86 LRV, quite a bit of contrast with On the Rocks. And what's great too is it sort of fits that slightly crisp, cool aspect because it does have that cool touch to it without feeling overly blue. Any way you slice it, this trim will pop. Now, if you wanted a dark color to really pop in the opposite way, then Forged Steel would be my choice. This is a kind of a charcoal gray. It feels like it has maybe a touch of red, and that's because the blue is dialed down ever so slightly, but really this is your kind of wrought iron sort of color, charcoal gray, slate gray, off black in that direction. It may also look a little bit cooler in practicality. It may kind of lean that way, but really a perfect fit for On the Rocks. All right, so let's get into color pairings. What other colors can go with On the Rocks? Well, the truth is there's a lot. It's gray to start with, so really there's so many different directions you can take this in. But what I would start with is a color like Natural Tan, a 65 LRV color, but it's a neutral that goes in the warm direction. So this just gives you a little more flexibility, versatility. Maybe you don't want cool gray everywhere. This gives you an option that is neutral. It brings in a little bit of beige, a touch of brown, and of course tan, but to a light degree. It is pretty muted and desaturated, so it still fits alongside On the Rocks really, really well. The second color pairing is going back to the cool side of things, but a little more so, both in depth and hue, and it's called Mineral Deposit. So this is a color that is kind of similar to Evergreen Fog in a way, which is a former color of the year by Sherwin-Williams. But I like Mineral Deposit because it just doubles down a little more towards the cool blue side of things while still having that grayed out green as well. So yeah, just like On the Rocks. A little bit cool, but this one is just a little more cool. And it gives you a subtle accent color, something with a little more richness, a 43 LRV, so kind of in that darker mid-tone territory. Not too dark, not too dramatic. It would be nice if you had some natural light to really bring this color to life in whatever space you use it in. And you can use it in a number of different places in your home. Our third color pairing is going to be the accent color, and this one is quite different than anything else in this video, but I love it. It's called Baked clay. The name tells you what you're getting here. Clay color, a mixture of brown, orange, and a bit of red, a little bit desaturated, so it's not super vibrant. It has a natural feeling to it. Kind of reminds me of the Grand Canyon a little bit. And what's great about it is this is a very complementary color. So with On the Rocks, and especially with Mineral Deposit, which both have varying levels of that green aspect, this orangey red is really gonna pop. Make sure you use it appropriately. Don't have a completely balanced 50-50 distribution of these two colors. It will be a lot. So have one a lot more than the other. That'll give you a nice sense of balance without it feeling too jarring. But here is the color palette all together. Let me know what you think. And also for extra videos, we have like 20 or 30 at this point. You can check out our Patreon. We would really appreciate it if you could support us there, because it's one of the surefire ways for us to keep doing this full time on YouTube and beyond. So thanks in advance. And here's another video just for you.